In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a book cover for free using Canva. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I've made well over 7 figures from self-publishing my books on Amazon KDP. So if you want no BS publishing advice from someone who is actually doing it, then make sure to subscribe. So you can create a book cover on Canva, whether you're publishing low content, medium content, or even nonfiction or fiction books. But just as an example, I was browsing through Amazon the other day and I found this book on basically overcoming family trauma and recovery. And in this video, I'm going to try and recreate a book cover like this. Now, this is once again purely as an example purpose. I'm not saying to go into this niche or anything. I'm just showing you how you can create a book cover similar to something like this. So the very first thing you want to do obviously is go to Canva. And once you're in Canva, you want to go over here that says templates. So click on that and you will see that there are a lot of templates depending on what kind of design that you're looking for. But for us, since we're making a self-help book, let's search for self-help book cover. And Canva will give you even more templates that you can choose from. Now you'll see that there are free templates that you can use anytime for anyone. And there are also templates that have these crown at the bottom right, which means that it is only for pro users. So if you're just going to stick with the free version, that's completely fine. So let's just try and find free templates out there like this one, and then select customize this template. Okay, so the template is finished loading up and we can see that it is already a minimalistic type of design and it's, almost ready to be used, but we're going to change it in some ways because remember, this is just a template. And, if it's a template on Canva, chances are high that a lot of other people are also using it as well. And if you create a book cover without modifying this template, then you will have a very similar design as a lot of other people, which is not good. So that is why we always want to make sure to modify the template and create a unique design. All right, so let's see. There are a lot of changes we can do here. For example, this one, it looks like a watermark because it's like a logo of a brand. So we can click on those elements and delete them. And now for the author name. So we would like to put it right at the very bottom. Next, let's adjust the shape and resize it up to this point. This way we'll have a bigger area for the design at the top. And speaking of which, we can also remove this because we don't really want to have the subtitle above the main title. So delete that and then put the actual title a little bit higher than the rest. Now, what you can do for the design is first delete this one and change the color of the square down here to any color that you want. So you'll see that Canva provides a lot of colors. There are actually gradients in here that we can use as well. But you have to look for something that's not really overpowering the color of the background. So to customize the actual color, you can use this and drag it all around wherever you want. So to get some designs, click on elements and then look for something that will not only look good on your cover, but also something that kind of symbolizes the concept of the book. So I will search for a tree. And there are different graphics, photos, and frames available. But for this instance, we're just going to use graphics. So there are graphics that are free and there are graphics here as well that are once again for pro users. So just spend more time on finding the free graphics if that's what you want to go with that will perfectly suit your design like this one. So let's just select that. Now, another good thing about Canva when you're doing these kind of designs is once you click on a photo or a graphic, it would give you this magic recommendations. So if you try to look at it, you will have similar graphics to the one we picked. You can find a lot of these if you just look for them. So maybe we can ditch this one and look for something better in here like this. So let's use that. Then just adjust the size and position of the element. So let's just stick with this one and then we will duplicate it and we will align it the way we like. So there we go. The design is not too dense and at the same time, it's not standing out too much. And then now we have the design. So although it's still incomplete, because what I'm planning to do with the design right here is make it a part of the title, like I said earlier. So let's just delete this one and then select text and then click on add a heading, then drag the heading over here because your title will be here. So since we're trying to create a similar book cover as the example that I showed you earlier, I'll just put breaking the cycle as the title and then change the color so it can be readable. Next, we can change the font to something that will match the overall mood of the cover and the book. So just click over here and you'll see a lot of free fonts. So I'll use something called Georgia Pro like that, and then I will adjust the size of it. Now we have a very big title and I do think this is way too big. So I'll resize it and then align it right in the middle. And we can enlarge the shape at the bottom too. And for the other text, we're also going to align it a little bit and we are done with the title. All right, so now for the subtitle. So this is where we'll put the subtitle. So click on add a subheading and then move the text box right here. So when you're creating your book titles, by the way, it is good to have keywords either in the title or the subtitle so it is easily discovered on Amazon. It's better to avoid fancy titles and have a title that clearly explains what the book is about, especially if you're doing nonfiction books like this. So with that being said, what I'm going to do for the subtitle is I'm going to put how to deal with generational trauma, but we won't put it with this text box right here. What you can do is copy this part, the actual theme of the book, and then delete it from there. Then next, let's go and add another subheading and then paste it right here. So let's make this a lot larger and also make this look a lot more emphasized. And we'll add another line for the how to deal with part by pressing enter. So there we go. Next, let's change the font style to the same one that we have in here. All right, so let's just make these parts a little bit larger to maximize the size. And there we go. So for the author name, it is really optional on where you want to put it on the book cover, but I do recommend putting it at the very, very bottom. So for this example, let's do that. So let's make it stay at the bottom. And I'm just going to put your name as an example, but obviously you'll be putting your author name or pen name in here. And if you're following along, you can change the font style once again to any font you want. It can be formal, it can be comedic style, but obviously for these kind of books, you don't really want the comedic style. So you want something more serious tone. So we'll change it to something that more so aligns with our topic. All right, so now heading back to the final part of the design, we have Breaking the Cycle. That is a title. The subtitle is How to Deal with Generational Trauma. So for the design, you want to, again, put some kind of symbolism or a design that represents the topic of the book. So in our case, we put some trees, but it doesn't have to be a tree. It could be something like a flower as well. So if you want to find a flower image, you can just click on Elements again, search for flowers, and click on Graphics to see all the related images that is available. You can also use Canva's magic recommendations to get a lot more ideas. So we can actually use this one and then just make it a little bit smaller and fit it in here. Yeah, maybe we'll just stick with this one, and now we have our front cover ready. So the last thing you need to do is to download this cover by clicking on share, selecting download, and then under the file type, you want to choose PNG, then click on download. So there we go. And as you can see, you have the image right here downloaded, and let's check how it looks. So it looks nice. The title can be easily read, the subtitle as well. And the design kind of represents the book topic once again. So I think this is pretty decent. So let's just close this one. And then now what we need to do is go to the KDP template generator, because we just created the ebook cover, but now we want to turn this into a paperback cover. So this is a template generator, and it is very, very straightforward. So you just have to fill out these information on what kind of book you're making. So we're making a paperback, and then the interior would be black and white. Paper type would be white as well. The reading direction will be from left to right. The measurement units will be in inches. And for the trim size, let's put 6x9. For the page count, let's assume that we will have 200 pages in our book. And then after that, just select calculate dimensions, and you'll see these numbers here. So don't worry about these numbers yet because we're going to be downloading the template, and I'm going to explain how it works. But what you want to do is to click on download template. And now we have the template here, and what I want you to do is to look over right here. So these measurements right here is what we'll be using to put in on Canva to create our paperback cover. So it is 12.588 inches by 9.250 inches. So now let's go back to Canva and type these numbers in. So once you're in Canva, click on Create a Design, then select the custom size at the bottom. So make sure that the measurement on the right is in inches because by default it's set to pixels, so we need to change that. The width will be 12.588, and then the height will be 9.25, which is the number that we just got from the template. Then click Create a New Design, which should bring you to a completely new tab with an empty page. The next step you'll do is upload the template that you just downloaded earlier because that will be our kind of a guide when it comes to making our book cover. So after that, just expand it all the way through until the image reaches every corner of the page. Next, we want to upload the front cover we created earlier. So we got the image in here, and the next thing we want to do is to put the image to the right because this section is for the front cover, and we will enlarge it without going past the white area. Then we can click on Elements, and then you'll see here is a section called Shapes, and just select the square one. And we want to align the square to the photo like this and expand it from side to side. So obviously the subtitle will get covered if we do this. So what you want to do is click on this, on the shape, and then select Position. So there are layers in here, and you want to click on Backward. So now the subtitle can be seen and the background is still there. And then we'll change the color of the background because we want it to have the same color as the part of the cover that it's matching up with. So click on this one and then select Add a New Color and click on the pipe type, and then click on this thing right here and then just select any area from the original photo. That should automatically change the color of the background. So now the front and back cover looks natural together. So now I'm gonna do the same thing for the part above it, which should be pretty quick. Now we're just going to change the color, and there we go. So we have our cover 90% ready. So the other things that we can do here is to add something in the back cover. So there's a lot of things that we can put in the back cover, like, special designs, your picture, like the author picture. You can even put summaries of the book or back cover text. So what I'm gonna do for example purposes is to just put a simple back cover text on here that kind of talks about the book a little bit. So the easiest way to get this, obviously you can come up with it on your own, or you can also use ChatGPT for some help. So now I'm here at ChatGPT, and it's pretty much straightforward. So all we're gonna do is ask it to give me a summary that will be put in the back cover of a book. The book will be about breaking generational trauma. So it generated me some text. Obviously from here, you wanna change it up to make the content your own, right? So do that. As I always say, AI is not here to replace you, right? So we don't want AI to completely replace everything we do. We wanna generate the content with AI, but we wanna touch it up so that it is our content. So once you personalize the back cover text, then what you wanna do is click on text again, and then add a heading like that. You wanna paste the text that you made right here. And since this is very large, I'll make it a little bit smaller. So there we go. And then you want to adjust it like this. So make sure that it is still readable while making sure that the font style is also the same as the one you have in your front cover like this. Now, the next thing is I'm going to go and adjust and do some quick fixes on it. I don't want to make the video too long, so I'm just going to cut to that part. All right, so now we have our paperback cover. So just to do a little bit of comparison, like a before and after, let me add another page and show you the original template that we based our design from. So this is a template, and this is what we have right now. So it's similar in some ways, like the separation of the color, but it's also very different because we changed it up quite a bit, right? So let me just move the template right over here. So we basically made it a complete different design, and that is exactly what you want to do. You don't want to just use a template design online, change the title text, and that is it. You want to make sure that you actually spend some time and create a unique design for yourself. So once you're done with that, just download it, and instead of being on PNG, you would need to have the file type on PDF print. So when you're downloading the file, the color profile is highly recommended to be CMYK because that is the best color profile for printed books. So it is better if you can download as that rather than having it at RGB, which is only good for basically ebook and not really for print. Now, when you select CMYK, basically it tells you that you have to get Canva Pro to download as CMYK. Now, what you can do is you can sign up for a 30-day free Canva Pro trial, and then you can just download it, and then you can cancel the trial later. Or you can keep the pro trial if you want to play around with it a little bit. So that was a very quick step-by-step tutorial on how to create your front cover and your back cover. Now, once again, just as a disclaimer that I did things pretty quickly for this video. For you, you want to spend a little more time and make sure that the design is as nice as possible. This is a great way to get started with Amazon KDP if you're low on budget because you can basically create a book cover for free. Now, once you start making money from your books, I highly recommend you reinvest the profit into hiring an actual illustrator that can create a higher quality book cover for you. So the best place to hire high quality cover designers at a very affordable cost is Fiverr. So I'll leave a link to some of these Fiverr gigs below in the description if you guys want to try it out. But as an example, this person will design a book cover for journals, notebooks, planners, those low content books for just $5. And these are some designs that you can create. So for $5, I think this looks pretty nice. And if you want to create a book cover for more medium content or high content like nonfiction and fiction books, then I do recommend this gig right here. I usually order the $30 package, but they create a really nice nonfiction and fiction designs like this. And finally, this is also a really good one. She specializes in nonfiction self-help book covers, similar to the topic that we created today. So I will once again leave a link to these gigs in the description below. So now that you created the book, it's time to go and market it so you can start making sales and start making money. So if you want to learn how to do that and how to start making money from your Amazon KDP business, then you can check out the first link in the description to learn more about my Amazon KDP programs, which is designed to take you from an absolute beginner in Amazon KDP to knowing exactly what to do to build a six-figure KDP brand. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description, as well as all the tools and resources that I recommend in your publishing business. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.